Narina walked among the palace gardens, her bare feet silent on the marble pathways. Roses bloomed in every shade of red, pink, and ivory, so different from the coral blooms of her ocean home. The sun warmed her skin, the breeze danced with her long seafoam hair, and yet, she felt like a ghost. She lived in the prince's castle now. After washing ashore in her human form, he had found her lying in the sand, unable to speak, but with eyes that shimmered like the sea. He brought her to the palace, wrapped her in silks, and gave her a place among his court. Everyone believed she was a noble girl rescued from shipwreck. No one knew the truth, not even him. She stayed by his side every day. She smiled when he looked at her, bowed when others bowed, and followed him through banquet halls and sunlit courtyards. But when he asked her questions, she could only shake her head. When he tried to guess her name, she had no way to correct him. He called her Marina. It wasn't her name, but she accepted it. A name, after all, was nothing without a voice to say it aloud. And yet, he was kind to her, gentle. He took her hand during walks, gave her books with illustrations of the sea, even played music for her on his lute. Songs that reminded her of her own voice, now trapped deep in the ocean. Sometimes she thought he felt something more. He would look at her with that softness in his eyes, the same look he had the night she saved him, though he didn't remember it was her. But those moments were fleeting. There was another. The golden-haired princess from a distant kingdom, the one who had found him unconscious on the shore. Her name was Elora, and she was everything Narina was not, royal, poised, and able to speak. The prince's eyes sparkled differently around Elora. When he spoke to her, he laughed. When he danced with her, he didn't look around the room for someone else. Narina knew. She saw it in the way his hand lingered on Elora's back, in the way he forgot to notice Narina's silence. Her heart cracked a little more each day. One afternoon, as the sun poured through stained glass and painted the throne room in golden light, the king announced a grand ball. To celebrate the prince's survival and future, he declared, a formal engagement will be announced. Narina's blood turned cold. That night, she stood at the edge of the ballroom, dressed in a gown of ocean blue silk. Her feet ached with every step, a cruel reminder of the sea witch's magic. Each movement felt like walking on shattered glass. Still, she smiled. She had to. The music swirled like waves around her. Laughter echoed through the palace. Guests in jeweled masks spun beneath chandeliers, oblivious to her silent agony. And then she saw him, Prince Oren, dancing with Elora. He looked radiant. A navy suit embroidered with silver threads hugged his tall frame. His golden hair was tied back, and his face glowed with warmth as he twirled Elora across the marble. Narina's heart screamed, but her lips didn't. She backed away from the crowd, escaping into the cool, empty corridors. A tear slipped down her cheek. She wished she could sing. If he only heard her voice, that voice, he would know. He would remember. But the sea which had taken that hope. Suddenly, soft footsteps echoed behind her. Narina, a voice said. It was him. She turned, surprised. He stepped closer. Why did you leave the ballroom? She opened her mouth. Nothing. I know you can't speak, he said. But, Sometimes I feel like you're trying to tell me something. Something important." She looked into his eyes. Her heart begged him to remember. Her fingers brushed the pendant around her neck, a shell given by the sea which to hold her voice. "If only I could hear you," he whispered. "I feel like I know you. Like I've known you longer than just a few weeks." Nerina reached out and took his hand. She pressed it against her heart. "Please," she thought. "Please remember." He smiled gently, but it didn't reach his eyes. "You're kind, gentle, and yet..." His gaze drifted. "There's someone else," he confessed. "I think I'm falling in love with Elora." The words struck like knives. "I wanted to tell you first," he continued, "because you've been by my side from the beginning. And if things had been different, if you had been able to speak, who knows?" Nerina managed a nod, tears glistening in her eyes. "I hope you'll stay," he said. "You're special to me." Then he kissed her cheek, turned, and walked away. She stood alone in the hallway, heart shattering in silence. That night, Nerina sat on the edge of her balcony, staring at the sea in the distance. Her soul felt like a drifting shell, empty, broken, lost between worlds. She had given everything. And still, she was invisible. The moon rose high above the water, casting a path of light across the waves. Somewhere beneath it, the sea called to her. But she had no home there now. And on land, she had no voice. No love. Only silence. And a fading hope.